Hey EOS friends. So EOS says I'm supposed to have a quarterly conversations with the leader with each of my direct reports. And your first response is, but we talk all the time, Scott. This video is for you. Okay, I get it. If you do EOS right, you have L10s, quarterlies, 2-day annual offsites, and a host of other times when you're in the same space with your team. You talk all the time, but honestly answer, are you really listening all the time? Here's a real story that illustrates my point. I did a 360 feedback session with a leader where I collected feedback from his direct reports, his peers, and his boss. The feedback from his team was, you don't care about my opinion. All you do is tell us what to do. It was a difficult message to hear, and the emotional reaction he had made it clear that he heard it and it hurt. My assignment from the coaching session was simple. Watch yourself for 1 week and assess how and where you led with questions versus statements. A week later, he showed up with a bounce in his step. He reported back to me that when he was having one-on-one conversations in his office, he was more relaxed and asked questions. When he was walking around the operation, he felt busier, more task-focused, and rarely asked questions. The challenge? He spent 95% of his time walking around, and in that walking around time, he wasn't listening. You know, the fix was pretty simple. He just had to learn that when he was walking around to be able to pause, ask questions, and listen to the response of his people. Our intent behind the quarterly conversation is to help you slow down to listen, to help your people slow down to think about what they are doing, what is working, what is not working, and most importantly, to tell you directly, which by the way, takes some courage on their part. The desired outcome, a stronger relationship, a building of trust, their ownership of their performance, and clarity as to how you can best support them. So leaders, I have 4 tips to help these conversations go smoothly. And in addition, I encourage all of you to read Chapter 8 of How to Be a Great Boss. It is 19 pages of all you need to get started on quarterly conversations. The first tip is be present. Shut off your phone and find a space where you will not be distracted. If you look at things over someone's shoulder, like this, find a view where there are no distractions. Tip number 2, don't save big issues for this meeting. If you live our rule of all positive or negative feedback within 24 hours, this will not be an issue. Tip number 3, be ready to repeat the following questions. Tell me a little bit more about that. What I hear you saying is that accurate? And finally, what do you think you should do? And tip number 4, follow up on all commitments made. The number 1 way you build trust is to do what you say you're going to do. Remember, the intent of the quarterly conversation is for you to listen and help another human being feel seen and cared for. I call those big outcomes for a small gesture. So go lead with your time, with your ears, and with your heart.